Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Hi, Indra. I'm doing great. Thank you.
Great. I am pleased and honored to have you on YouTube channel.
It's great to be here. I'm really excited. I've been following your page and
Yeah.
love your content, so it's really nice to chat with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And hello, icons. Today we have a great and native English speaker who is from Los Angeles, the dream city, and she is really beautiful and fine. So I will ask you, ma'am. So could you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Sure. Thank you. That was a really nice intro. Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Anne Crutchfield, but you can call me Anne. All of my students call me by my first name. And I am an English teacher. So I have been teaching English as a second language. That means working with students who are adding English, like they grew up speaking
Yeah.
another language at home. So all of my work has been with multilingual people, and I'll tell you more about, my history and my background. But right now I'm focusing a lot on teaching on social media, on
Wow.
Instagram, YouTube, and a little bit on TikTok and other places too. So I'm excited to be here today and share more about my story and more about teaching English and about where I live and anything
Yeah.
else.
Great, great. And we are eagerly waiting for your great speech, ma'am. And so, ma'am, I want to know from you that who or what inspired you to become a digital creator?
Oh, so that's the newest part of my professional life, being a digital creator. So that started during the pandemic a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing anything on social media or making any teaching videos or reels before then. I was working as a classroom teacher.
Oh,
So for more than 10 years, I taught English in a traditional
wow,
setting,
10 years
right? In the classroom with
in the
some,
offline classroom.
yep, exactly. Always on college campuses. So
Hmm.
I started doing that when I was a graduate student, teaching English to international students on university campuses. And
Wow,
so
great.
always I would go to work and interact with students live, which is very different. And
Yeah.
then when the pandemic hit, many things happened I can tell you more about. But I started my own business, my own
Wow.
private teaching business. And first, I was meeting with my clients in person and doing a little bit of advertising online and making a website. But
Wow.
quick, the pandemic happened, and
Hmm.
I started working with students more and more online and virtually. And then I just started having fun with the Instagram. I I saw what other people were creating and got inspired by that for sure.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, sure,
I
sure.
thought, oh, this is nice. You can make little teaching tips. These are things that I do in real life all
Yeah,
the time,
exactly.
but
And you
they're
can
not.
reach to the larger audience, a wider audience easily through
Yeah,
social media. So it is really a great way, I think.
exactly. Before 2 years ago, or before I started teaching online, almost everything that I created for my students was kind of hidden. I mean, we would use it in class, and
Hmm.
then it would go into my files, my archives. Sometimes teachers will share things with each other,
Yeah.
but other than that, no one really sees what you do. Nobody knows.
Hmm.
Nobody knows
Because
what.
this is limited. Offline is limited. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So then I just started making some things on my own, and at first they were so bad. If you go back and look at my earliest reels, they're
Yeah,
just
you are.
awful.
Yeah, yeah. It is normal, quite normal for the creators because at the beginning they are not professional, they are not pro, so it happens.
It's a process,
Yeah, it's
and
a
I didn't
process.
really plan to start that process, but once you start, I don't know, I just continued, and then it became a regular thing, and then it became
Yeah,
a
it is a
goal.
part of your life. It has become.
Yeah, basically it's part of everyday life now.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
So yeah, it's a lot of things. It's a creative outlet. It's a way to connect with people. It's a way to sort of show what I
Mm.
do, showcase and share some of my, I don't know, some of
Tips
my,
and trick and your content. Yeah, it will really helpful. It will be really helpful for the students.
and I really want to get better and
Yeah,
just keep
definitely.
learning. And
Yeah.
I really only started making reels and making videos about 4 months ago. I
Okay.
had experimented before that a little bit, so I guess it started earlier. But in February or March of this year,
Okay. So
I
that
mhm,
means that you has joined recently.
pretty recent, I
Yeah,
think.
very
It,
recent.
I believe March that I started posting regularly or started
Mm.
trying to create kind of a community for my
Yeah,
students and for my
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, great, great. And yeah, what is your plan for being a social media creator, or what is your plan regarding this?
Mhm, mhm. Well, I definitely want to keep doing it. So I
Yeah,
plan to continue. And as I said before, I'm still a beginner and I'm
yeah, you are
still,
learning. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
So I feel like I have a lot more to gain myself
Yeah,
just
definitely, definitely.
continuing the
Mhm.
process. So I'll do that first
Yeah,
for probably,
definitely, definitely, ma'am. Definitely.
but
And
eventually I would like to develop more professional content. So
mm,
videos and courses that are, yeah, a little bit higher quality on the
okay,
technical
yeah.
side and working with other
Mm,
professionals, other editors or videographers. That would be really exciting. Right now,
exciting. Yeah, exactly.
do it myself, of course, like most people, but it would be really fun to go to a new level or a next step with
Mm, good,
quality of
good.
the production of
Absolutely. Yeah.
videos. So maybe that would be like next year.
Okay,
And
but
then
you are preparing for that from now,
I'm sure
and
I'm always
yeah.
thinking ahead. I decided that this year 2022 is really a creative year for me. So I'm
Mm,
spending a lot of time creating for social media and also creating for my e-commerce site. So
very good.
I have some digital workbooks and digital products that you can download. A lot of them are free, and then some of them you
Okay,
can
wow,
buy.
great. Yeah, definitely. So, viewers, I will provide all the details and all the links of her in the description. So, go and check it out. But after this video, okay?
Yeah, sure. And that's just also like a fun place where I'm creating and sharing and posting, but I want to make more products for my site and also more for YouTube. So my YouTube is pretty bare right now. I've uploaded some things and but not much. So I want to keep creating in those spaces and then next year shift to some new projects
Yeah,
or
definitely. We are waiting for that, man.
yeah. I'm also teaching a lot. So I work with students throughout the day, one on
Oh,
one. I
oh,
have 10 private students, so I spend about 10 hours a week meeting with different students
mm,
doing really different types of English lessons. I could share
good.
about that if you want, like what I do with the different students and how diverse they are. Or but then I also have a commitment and a teaching project that I'm doing at the University of California, Santa Cruz. So I teach online during the summer.
Okay.
That's working with graduate students. So that's
Oh,
coming
wow.
soon. Next month, August, I'm going to be really busy because I'll be teaching my private students and then teaching at the university
Hmm.
and
So you
trying
will be super busy, right?
this August will be busy. So I'm going to do my best to keep up
Yeah,
with
definitely, definitely. And all
messages.
the best for your future endeavors, and hope it will be completed and fulfilled.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll share more about it on my Instagram about the work that I'm doing in that program because you'll notice coming up I'm going to
Hmm.
shift and focus a lot more on academic English. So
Yeah.
English that is needed for students,
Hmm.
college, university students, but also earlier. I mean, it's never too early. So high school students can start and junior high
Okay,
students
definitely.
can learn too these skills. But coming up, I'm going to be sharing a lot of like academic English tips because
That's
I'm focusing on those things in my teaching outside of Instagram, my real life teaching.
okay. Wow, great. So whatever you are teaching in the real life, you are supposed to share on
Yes,
Instagram.
that's
Great.
you.
That
Your
that's
question,
really great.
what inspires me, and honestly,
Hmm.
I'm creating things that I need for my own work, for my own
Wow,
students. So I
very
have
good.
all different students. Some of them are kids, some of them are business professionals, and depending on what I think I can use with them, that's basically what I'm sharing with everybody, or the questions and the grammar, the vocabulary that comes up with my students very
Wow,
often is what inspires me then to create. So it all kind of connects. It's nice.
wow, awesome, awesome. Really, it's really awesome. And ma'am, yeah, what kind of difficulties as you have entered the digital world? So, what kind of difficulties you face while teaching through online?
Mm. It was definitely an adjustment to be in front of the camera. It
Yeah,
still is because I'm not an actress or a model, of course. And so it is very different teaching to a camera instead of teaching to a classroom. Both
different.
of them are kind of public speaking. So both of them you have to mm, be on the spot, so to
Yeah,
speak.
you have to be on the spot. Yeah, true, true.
They're
That's
both
true.
kind of pressured speaking situations.
Mm.
So I teaching probably prepared me for being on the camera that I'm slowly getting more comfortable with. But it was a huge challenge, and it still is to
Yeah,
teach live,
definitely.
to deal with the technology. I don't know if have you taught live on Instagram or
No, I have not that experience, but I
uh-huh.
know I can understand the what usually goes, yeah, during the live. So it is very difficult because you can't edit,
Yeah,
right?
there's no
It is
kidding, which is nice.
very difficult.
I like it because it's easy because you just do it and it's done.
Yeah, the
Then
instant. Yeah, that's correct. That's the
all
point.
that's why I
Very
do a
good.
lot
Very-
of work.
Okay, I see.
But the challenge is that you have to multitask a lot.
Mm.
You're not really everything changes. Everything that I used to do in the classroom was focused on group work. So I
Mm.
spent a lot of time before making copies of papers or organizing groups to do some task together or giving them some cards. I was always cutting up papers and I was always like preparing physical objects, and
Yeah,
you can't really do very much at all. Even
definitely, definitely,
it's all
definitely.
different, but you can do other things. You can
Other
show
things.
videos, or you can show
Demonstration. Yeah.
demonstrations, and you can chat. And so it's all new. It's all very different
Mm.
thing that I learned about how to teach. But it's a really fun challenge to figure that
Yeah,
out.
it's challenging, but it
Yeah,
is fun.
it's really fun. It's really fun. So that comes to mind, just like multitasking and learning new technologies and learning a completely new
Mm,
strategy for how to teach. And
cool.
I see how other people are getting creative and clever with doing that in reels. For example, you see some teachers make a conversation where I speak red, you speak blue, you
Yeah,
know,
definitely. Yeah,
or
interactive sessions. Yeah,
things like
so that
this.
the audience or viewers can participate in.
Yes, you have to create some opportunity for participation and even
Cool.
better interaction, which is so hard, but
Yeah,
it's really interesting to see how
yeah,
others figuring that out. And I'm like, wow, I wish I thought of that. That's such a good idea. It's so simple, but it's
that's it.
so smart.
Cool.
So yeah, the challenge of figuring things out, because there's no book about how to do this
Mm.
yet. I don't think. I don't know. Maybe there is. Somebody's probably about it.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
cool.
actually there's a lot of literature about using technology in education and these new worlds and these new spaces. There's a lot. So
Yeah. What do you find, or what do you visualize, like for the students who are learning or who are struggling for their learning English, that what you find, what
like
problems the students face,
oh well, most students in general tell me that they want to improve their speaking confidence. That's really
Mm.
common thing that I hear, or that people will ask me about or tell me that they've learned English, they know the grammar, or they have taken all
They
the classes.
know the how to structure
Yeah,
sentence, but they have no confidence. Then how
exactly.
to boost up confidence?
It's just the experience and the practice
Yeah.
and the confidence that goes along with that. So that's really common, and that's a difficult one to solve sometimes. I have lots of ideas about how you can do that, but you have to find some ways to practice speaking English, either by joining a class, finding a free class online,
Mm.
finding a conversation partner. Of course, if you can travel to that country, great, but most
Yeah.
people can't do that. I mean,
And do that. Yeah.
you can't just go to that place. That's a dream. So, finding apps to listen and speak, or using movies, or really the key is to find some English speaking community of some kind. I
Mm,
don't
yeah.
that
On
really depends.
social media, yeah, it is. I think it is very available nowadays for having social medias.
Yes, if you're not interacting and using English in a kind of authentic way to
Mm.
make meaning, I don't know if you've heard language described that way, but the way that people really learn from a social perspective is when together we create some meaning or some understanding, some shared knowledge together.
Yeah,
That
together.
can be anything. It's what we're doing right now when you just went,
Whatever
yeah,
interests you. Yeah.
yeah. It's that action that happens
Mm.
when people speak that's really interesting to study, but it's hard to create. It's hard to create in a textbook or a classroom or in a reel or in an
Yeah.
app. But online, there are communities like joining the live sessions, or there's like gaming
Yeah.
communities, or any kind of clubs, or any kind of
Group
multi.
you can. Yeah.
Yeah. Do
Group.
you like where do you have places online that you can think of where people are using English together? I think of like
I think,
gaming or
yeah, there are some groups on Facebook
just Facebook groups dedicated to this, yes, and following the teachers and learners who are sharing English lessons online.
Knowledge. Yeah.
Many of them have opportunities for workshops or
Hmm.
classes. I have a free speaking class that I did last month and plan to do every month.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that's all in my bio and on my page. You can find that information. But things like that can be useful. So speaking is a big one.
Hmm.
If it's a grammar thing, it's usually about prepositions that students have trouble with grammatically. Preposition combinations. It's just
Yeah.
so hard to learn,
And
and
it's so confusing sometimes.
it's so confusing, and there's so many different options. It sort of overlaps with phrasal verbs.
Yeah.
Look up, look down, look over, look
Look down.
around, on, look after. I mean, all of that. That grammatically, I think prepositions are
Hmm.
really the hard thing
Really
that
the hardest thing.
I can't help people with a rule. I, I can only help people repeat them, see them again. After 20, 30 times, maybe you'll remember. It just takes a lot of time to learn
Yeah.
prepositions. Yeah. Those are a couple things that come to my mind.
Good. Good. I, yeah. That's true. That's true. That's really true.
Maybe one more. I mean, there's so many, but another big one lately is email writing. So I have a
Email
lot.
writing. Yeah. Professional email writing.
That's a skill that we're all using, we're all doing, we're
Hmm.
all have so many messages that we have to reply to.
Yeah.
So I would like
At
to,
office, at school, it is everywhere.
it's everywhere. Kids need, well, yeah,
Hmm.
they do actually. I mean, even, junior high up or whenever you start emailing, maybe around then, earlier.
Hmm.
All of that needs to be learned. So we need more resources. And I have some things that I've started that I plan to share coming up, focusing on email. So practice exercises mostly, and tips and strategies for getting better at that
Yeah.
writing skill.
Good. And ma'am, yeah, one thing I just noticed that recently some subscribers commented that when they speak English, because English it is not our first language, so when they speak English, if it may be broken, it may be mistaken, the other people mock at. So how to tackle this kind of things? Because
Uh,
it happens with the language learners. I think so.
so the situation where someone is learning English, speaking English, and the other person doesn't understand and doesn't
Understand?
really
They just mock at,
and and what? Sorry.
yeah, laugh at this
Oh, yeah,
situation, this kind of.
yeah. That's really bad.
So
Well,
how
yeah.
to overcome this kind of situation? Like don't care.
I mean, I think we
What is
should
your opinion?
care. I think we should care about this because I don't know if you've heard this word. It's kind of uh, it is a mix between the word linguistics and ism. Linguicism sounds kind of
Okay, linguism.
racism or sexism or
Hmm.
ageism, or it's like
It's a
discrimination.
noun. Yeah,
Yes, it's a noun. It's like prejudice or discrimination
optimism.
against language.
Hmm.
And for a long time, we've sort of done that. I think maybe many years ago, we realized that there's a strong need for multicultural education, and we started sort of recognizing cultural diversity, but we still
Yeah,
expected everybody to use English. And um, I disagree with that whole model. Even though I'm an English teacher,
yeah,
I think that the best is for everybody to learn as many languages as possible. the
Yeah,
best would be for all of us to become more multilingual so that we all have many options. And
yeah, to interact with people.
yeah, I think
Definitely.
everybody is responsible for the communication. And when somebody makes fun of another person for their English, it makes no sense if they are monolingual. Like if you only speak one language, then it doesn't make any sense to
Mm,
ridicule another person who has more knowledge than you.
true,
It's
true.
it's so frustrating. But I I hope that I hope that this changes. I think it is at least slowly that we
It will take time.
it will
You,
take
it is not. There is no shortcut.
yeah. Yeah, right, exactly. It's really about changing people's minds
Mm,
about the value of other languages and the value of being bilingual,
true.
instead of thinking that English is better. So that's a really dangerous kind of mind.
Exactly, exactly. You can't set a language that is better, that is supreme, because we should respect other languages also.
Yes, and all languages are equal. I mean, there's
Yeah,
nothing
it's a
better.
way of interaction. Just.
Exactly. It's just about power and how certain languages kind of get preferred, and then
Mm,
they're kind of treated as special, or they're treated as something that you must have. And English is the best example of this, what happens when a language becomes very powerful. And
yeah.
there's good things and there's lots of bad things that come from that.
True.
My dissertation, when I did my PhD, my research topic was related to this, so that's why I'm kind
Oh,
of passionate about it
wow.
when I'm speaking. What I studied was how can the world of English language teaching, so how can English language teachers become more multilingual? How can we use students' languages as a resource instead of treating it as a problem? Instead of ignoring other languages and only using English in a classroom, um, how can we learn English but do it in a way that makes use of all of the languages that are available? So I
Wow.
did some studies and I collected data and I looked at things that are kind of already happening, and tried to make some arguments in that direction, that we can move away from an English only model in
True,
teaching,
that's true.
and we can move towards a model where maybe there's lots of languages happening in the classroom at the same time. And for many people that sounds like crazy. It's like, what? How? What? But yeah, there's advantages to that.
Hmm,
There's advantages for communication, for example.
yeah, exactly. And so, anything else do you want to know from me?
Oh my goodness. Yes, I want to know more from you. So, what kind of teaching do you do now, or have you done in the past? What kind of
Yeah,
students are you
I'm
working
I'm a student of engineering. I'm right now in the last semester, and
with?
my campusing is going on. And I love learning English, and whatever I learned, I just share on my YouTube channel. And I joined some applications, and I upload those videos also because some people can't afford it. So I just help them out.
It's great. I love that. So you're an engineering student, and what are your future plans? What
Uh,
do you want to do? Or
yeah, I want to do a decent job in my field, that is electronics and communication engineering. And apart from that, I will continue my YouTube journey as well
fun. So this is
because
kind
I,
of hobby.
yeah,
It sounds like this is like a hobby that you
yeah,
have.
exactly. It sounds hobby, and I am passionate about my YouTube channel. So I just uh, love sharing my knowledge, and I love interacting with new people and native speakers. And a lot, I because I have interacted a lot of speakers from different countries, different cities. So I love interacting with people. So I just love to share those content on YouTube.
I do too. I think it's so, so fun. I never
Yeah,
expected
exactly.
that I would be doing this. Like I talked about at the beginning of this recording or beginning of this chat, um, as a classroom teacher before, I always felt a little bit isolated. I mean, of course, you work with your students and you work with your fellow teachers, like a small
Yeah,
team usually. But now I'm connecting with people all over the world,
yeah, millions of students.
so many
Yeah,
people, and it's super fun and exciting, and
exactly.
I want to see where all of this leads, and I want to keep in touch. So
Yeah,
I wish you the best of luck with everything, and maybe we can collaborate on something for,
yeah.
since
On
you
a
uh,
different topic, we can as you want. So it will be really awesome for me, and thank you for joining me. And it is really like I am over the moon right now.
me too. This has been super fun. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you
And
soon.
hope to see you soon 1,000 times. So take care.
Thank you. You too. Have a great evening.
Okay. Yeah.
Bye
You too. Bye
bye.
bye.
Thanks.